No, don't do it. This is take two. It's because my cat got caught up in the mic wire, and I knew it was gonna happen. I could like see it happening, like minutes into advance. I was like, he's standing here, and I know when he decides to move, he's gonna get caught on the cord, and it's gonna knock the camera over. And that's exactly what happened. Twice. Two times. Two times, Mr. Feeney. He's just like he didn't do anything. Anyway, maybe the video will be better this time. I feel like last time I was, I tend to go off on tangents. And I need to get better at that. But I think I went off on a couple in the first recording. So hopefully I can maintain kind of a flow in this one. But essentially, what I was talking about is awareness. Or consciousness. I think they're kind of the same thing. And what do I mean? I mean, okay, so awareness is consciousness, consciousness is awareness. And I feel like having that like connection helps me understand it in my brain. Just labels, connecting dots. But essentially, I do things, I say things, I think things. These are all things that I do. And it's like, it's how I move through the world. But then it's like, how do you know that you're doing those things? Okay, no. Don't do it. He's getting too excited. I had to wash this rug. Anyway. And so it's like, I have thoughts, other people have thoughts. I can see other people's thoughts. I can see my thoughts, And so it's like, there's like that awareness of like, how people work, how the mind works, things like that. But then if you take a step back, and it's essentially like, how do you know that like how do you know that these things like that you're observing, that you're seeing, that you're saying, that you're doing, like how do we know what they are? And that's awareness. That's like what your awareness is like the observation of the things. And then through like observing, all the sensory data comes in, computer starts processing, spits out an image. And then through my awareness, I can start correlating the data. And I can be like, oh, backpack, camera, mic, John, So, but that awareness has no thought. But the awareness is the only way we're able to even know that we have thoughts or feelings or things are happening or people are there or not there. But then you can be aware of the awareness, just like that, like what I just said. I know that the awareness is there. And then, of course, you could keep going from that. Like you could say, oh, but you can be aware that you're aware. And so you could just like keep like do, like it's like a redundant loop. And so I don't know if there's anything past like that first step back of like, I'm aware of my awareness. But essentially, it created this like thought bubble, this existential thought bubble that's just It's like, why does anything even matter then? If I'm just observing things happening, you know? And then, of course, the meaning of life is a tale as old as time. It never stops. And meaning is subjective, of course. My dog's got something under the bed that she probably isn't supposed to have. And I'm aware of it. Because I can hear. And that's what I've been struggling with. You know, I feel like a lot of times I see the bigger picture. Not even in an egotistical way. I mean, I guess I don't know if you can really say that. Not in an egotistical way. But I think it feels egotistical because I'm saying the bigger picture. But really, it's just like maybe a broader perspective. You know? Sometimes it feels like nothing really matters. Oftentimes it feels like that. And it feels like that when I start trying to think about it and like break things down. But why does, when you're doing things, sometimes you feel that way. You can be doing something and you're like, what the fuck is the point of this? Why am I fucking mopping up the rain right now? Like, you know, just like random shit. Not that you ever mop up rain. But it does happen. And it's, yeah, you're just like I'm stepping back. Imagine, you know, you're just watching people, but one of the people you're watching is yourself. And you're just like, what is this guy doing? What is John doing? You know? Why doesn't he just do his homework on time? Why does he wait? Why does he not go to bed on time? Why does he struggle getting up? And it's like, I don't know. Like, am I asking myself that? Or are those questions just meant to be rhetorical? I had to think of the word. And yeah, you know, I think that's a big part of why I've struggled a lot in my life. Sometimes I just don't see the point on a lot of stuff. Will I? I'm not sure. But then it's like you have to start like, what do you place meaning behind? Where does that meaning come from? Is that meaning biased? Of course it is. It's always biased. I'm figuring it out. You know, I'm asking myself the questions. I'm putting in the work. And I'm proud of myself, you know. I have a lot to work on, and I have a lot to do. And it stresses me out. Pretty bad. Pretty bad. And I feel like I'm just, like, what am I waiting for? You know? Now, I don't think I have... I don't know why. Part of me feels like I don't deserve to achieve my goals. I was trying to come up with an explanation, but there is no explanation. There's no reasonable answer to that question. You know? But I ask it anyway. And then I think about why do I even ask the question? You know? Like why do I have to think that I don't deserve these things? Why do I have to feel those feelings? Where is it like at what part of the process in my brain, like what filter are my thoughts going through to come out like that? You know? I don't know. Somewhere. Somewhere. Or maybe it doesn't even matter. It doesn't matter where they come from, doesn't matter what filter they're driven through. You know, because if you go back to the awareness, I don't have to identify with the thought, of course. We all know this. Come on. So what do? Do you think a different thought? Do you wait for that thought to go away? Do you just do? Do you just be? Like the thought's still there, but do you just keep going? It's possible. I've done that before. That's hard. That's anxiety, essentially. Yeah. I don't know what I was doing. Huh. I got a lot of questions, not a lot of answers. But I do have a lot of homework. So that'll be fun. I've been procrastinating on this paper. I gotta get that done. Or better, I should say. But anyway, that's my rant for today. Searching for the meaning. We'll get there. Italian. Anyway, hope you have a good one. I don't really care about cars, even though I'm wearing a Corvette hoodie. Sorry. Got this at TJ Maxx. I bought it during the summer. It was like 95 degrees. Not sure why. Anyway, have a good night. I hope your week is good. I hope you have a good Thanksgiving. If I don't see you before then, or if you don't see me before then. Hope you have a good one. Bye.